Hello, everyone. Again, this is Zeke, your dedicated product engineer, and today we're going to discuss more about the ITSM. So, our last discussion was about the Komodo One high-level overview, and we discussed about what we have in the dashboard, the applications, the management, what we have in the store, and also the tool sets. I also showed you a glimpse of how to enroll devices. Okay, so I hope at this point you were able to enroll some devices and you were able to play around with some of the features of ITSM. All right, but today we're actually going to show you more techniques of how to enroll device and the users. What's the point of having a user or an owner, the device groups, and the device management. All right. And also, to be specific, it is going to be all about the endpoint management because we're going to have a separate discussion about mobile device management. All right, so let's get started. First, what is the ITSM? So, ITSM is our application in Komodo One where we put all our management tools. Right, so we have here again our remote management, the patch management, endpoint management, mobile device management, script deployment. We also have our security management here, but we only manage our own security application, which is again the Komodo client security and the or what we call the advanced endpoint protection. Okay, so what are the supported endpoint platform in ITSM? So again, the reason why I said just the endpoint platform is because we're only going to discuss about the endpoint management. Okay, but since we're on this list already, you will see that these are the list of iOS and Android devices that we support. And for endpoint, we support Mac OS, Windows Workstation, Windows Server, and Linux. Okay. Um, let's go now here. Oh, well, actually, if you're going to enroll a Mac OS device, you have to make sure first that you have this APN certificate correctly set up because this is the one that's going to attach a Komodo certificate to the enrollment agent. So it would allow our enrollment agent to your Apple device. So when I say Apple device, it includes the iOS, which is for mobile version, and OS X for the desktop version. Okay. Um, Now let's go here for the different methods of enrolling your device. Okay. So first, actually, this is what I showed you before. This is what we called over-the-air enrollment, and this is where you will have to choose the owner and the company. Okay. So in my case, I can use just my email address, which is the account admin, and I can select the company where I want the device to be enrolled. Okay. But not just that, you will also have to know that for each combination of owner and company, there is, oh, sorry, I will have to do that again. For every email address and and company combination, there is a specific token that is being generated. So this one is 952 for the company A and the my email address. Okay, so if I generate another one, starts with 952, ends with 196. If I generate for Z Corp, this one, this should have. Oh, why did I do that? Sorry. Let me repeat that. Z. Sorry about that. That's because I already sent one for Z Corp, but let me refresh the entire page. All device, Z Corp, show enrollment instructions. There. So this one starts with 38B and ends with 630. So it's a completely different token for every combination of an owner and company. Okay. All right. So for the over-the-air enrollment, you don't have to be very confused about how it's done. You just have to choose your owner and the company. All right. And later on, I'm going to discuss why we need an owner. Okay. So another thing, when you generate an enrollment agent, let me just show you my user list right here. You can list down all the users that you have for a specific company. You can also just list down the decision makers for each company, or you can also just list down your technicians, or you can just enroll everything under your name. Okay, so you have four different approach. It just depends on how you want to organize your things in ITSM. Again, you can enroll it to yourself, you can enroll it to your technicians, you can enroll it to the decision makers, or you can enroll it to each end users. Just going to be a lot of work because you will have to add all the users right here. Okay. So, yep. This example right here for Vincent, this is just a regular user and comes from the default company. All right. Now, if I generate an enrollment agent for this guy, which is just a regular user or an end user, I call its name. It can only represent one company, which is his company. Okay, but if I call in my name, it can represent any company on the list. Now let's pick another user to make it more sense. So we have this US SUSUP. I don't have to. I can actually read that. It's just an auto-generated email, but if I call that email right here, it can also generate any company on my list. Why? Because this is an administrator. Okay, so basically, if you are an account admin, an administrator, or a technician, basically a staff member of the ITSM platform, you can represent any company on the list. But if you're just a regular user that has been added here in ITSM, you can only represent one company. Okay, so that is if you're going to add all the end users from a specific company, they can of course just issue an enrollment agent for that company alone. Cannot generate an enrollment agent for a different company. I hope that does make sense. Um, Next, we have the bulk enrollment via active by auto discovery and deployment tool. Sorry. So that is by going here under the bulk installation package. Now this time I can associate my enrollment agent to a user, which is common, the owner, the company, the group, and then the profile. Okay, this will just be activated if I open or select the Komodo Client Security or the Advanced Endpoint Protection. Okay, so again, this time I can associate the enrollment agent to the owner, the company, the group, and also the profile. Okay, and these are also the elements that is always attached to an agent. It always has the owner, the company, device group, and the profile association. If you enroll the device using the over-the-air method or the first method that I showed you, which only asks for the owner and the company, it will automatically associate the default device group and the default profile. So we have under device list, if you notice for each company right here, we have a default group that cannot be deleted. But this one, there's a delete button because this is a group that I just created. Same for this one, for this one, but not the default group. Not for this one, not for this one. Okay. So there's always a default group that is being associated if you enroll it. For example, if you enroll a device for company A and you did it by here, it will go straight to the default company A. Okay. And for the profile, it will just associate the default profile. So in my case, this is my default profile. And I cannot cancel the default for this one because this is the only default profile I have. So basically, I should always have a default profile. Okay. For our next demo, we are actually going to discuss more about the profile. So for now, this is what I can show you about the profiles. Just about the association. Okay. All right. So next method is by enrolling the device via Active Directory. So let me go to help.komodo.com guide. So if you have an Active Directory set up, if you don't want to use the auto discovery and deployment tool, which can also deploy the agents via Active Directory, you can just create your own group policy object to your Active Directory. So you can just type in here enroll GPO, and then you'll be able to see this very first link right here, which shows you the complete instructions on how to generate an enrollment agent and create a policy object within your Active Directory network. Okay. But then again, this is something, for me, this is more complicated than doing it into using our audit discovery and deployment tool. Last time we talked, I showed you how audit discovery and deployment tool works. You just have to follow 3 steps. First is to choose your package. So in that case, you'll choose your ITSM agent. Then next, you will just have to choose the targeted network, can be Active Directory, home group, or network address. As soon as you selected Active Directory there, you just have to put the credentials, the admin credentials of the Active Directory network, and then it will be able to scan all the devices available within that AD network, and you can just choose which devices where you want to deploy the agent. That's very easy. Unlike this one, you'll have to create your own policy object within the Active Directory network, which may take more time. Okay. So it's up to you if you wanna follow this one, but I just want to show you that this is available in our doc guide in help.komodo.com. You can just search for the keyword enroll GPO. Okay. All right. So again, just to summarize everything about the device enrollment, you have 3 methods. First one is the over-the-air enrollment, which is by going here. Next is the bulk enrollment, which is under devices, bulk installation package, and then just fill this out. And then the bulk enrollment via Active Directory and by creating a group policy object. Okay, so yeah. So next is about the users. All right, again, I showed you earlier how to add a user. I showed you that you can only assign an enrollment agent, or I mean, you can only generate an enrollment agent for every company if you are an admin, an account admin, or a technician. But if you are just a regular user, you can only generate an enrollment agent for one company. Okay, so and if you're going to create a user, you can just manually go by here and then fill this out manually, or you can also pull up the users directly from your Active Directory network. Okay, so that's under the settings, portal setup, then Active Directory tab, we have the add button. So you just have to fill this out, fill out the LDAP server host, the LDAP account admin, the company, and the LDAP account login, and the password, of course. So as soon as you're able to fill this out, it's going to try to connect your Active Directory network. We'll synchronize everything, and we'll list down even the groups of your users. So if we go back here, we have user groups. It will automatically create its own groups and list down all the users within that group. Okay, that way you will be able to assign the devices per end user. But the question is, what if you don't have an active directory, or there's no active directory in that company that you are supporting? All right. So again, it's really up to you how you want to manage your users. If you want to create, or if you want to add each end users within that company, or you can just add the decision makers and then enroll the devices under their name, or you can just enroll the devices under your technician's name. So let's say technician 1 is dedicated for company A, technician 2 is dedicated for company B, and so on, right? Or you can just simply enroll everything under your name as the account admin. It doesn't actually really matter. What really matters here is the device should be on a specific company name, right? And earlier I told you that I'm going to tell you why we need an owner for the device. Some others are asking, why do I need an owner? I can just apply it to, or I should just associate the device to a company name, right? So the reason why we have a user association to the device is because we can apply the profile to the user. Okay, so we're going to discuss more about the profile association uh, in our next demo. Okay, so because we're going to talk more about the profiles right there. But then again, just to give you a quick answer, the profiles can be associated to the users. And profile is the list of your settings that you can, or configuration that you can assign to your device. Okay, so if you apply the profile or your configuration to the user, that means that every devices within that user will follow the same profile. Okay, it will make more sense when we hit the profile association demo, right? But then again, the owner is important, so you can apply profiles to that. Okay, next, um, about the group management. So it's very simple. For every company, you can just add a group. So like this one, this is a group. Under company C, I can just click the plus sign so I can add a new group. Okay, and we have two tabs right here on top. We have device management and group management. So this group management just simply shows me all the groups that I have within a company. If I haven't selected any company, it's going to show me all the groups I have. So if I go to company C, these are the groups I have for this. You will also see the manage profile button here, which means that I can associate a profile to the group. I can rename the group. I can also delete a device to the group. Or sorry, delete the entire device group. But you cannot delete it, obviously, if you have a device in it. Okay. Next we have the device management. So let me go to all devices. Go to this one. All right. So this buttons up here, we call it the device controls. And this tabs down here, we call it device properties. Right? So the very first one on top is manage profile, which means that I can also apply the profile to the device level, meaning it is being applied to the device directly. Okay. Next, remote control. So we have what we call Komodo remote control. That's the exact name of the app. And if you don't have that application installed yet, it will ask you to download the Komodo remote control. You can also just go directly here under bulk installation package, Komodo remote control, and then click download. Right. So this one is the console, the administrator console. But in terms of the agent, you don't have to install a separate agent for you to be able to take a remote access to a device. Okay, so let's go back right here. Right, so that's for the Komodo remote control. So if I click on this right now, since I already have the Komodo remote control installed in my machine, I just click on it. It will pull up my Komodo remote control in a few seconds. So this is my Komodo remote control. It's now connecting to the remote host, which is my virtual machine. So it is actually connected right now, but I just have a profile here that checks it, and there will be this pop-up to allow me to, if I want to terminate the session of the ones who's trying to connect to my machine, right? So it's like a privacy setting for the end user. Okay, so let me just close this out right now. So that's the Komodo remote control. Next, we have the procedure. The procedure is again the script deployment tool, specifically Python scripting, and you can also deploy patch procedures in here and third-party patch procedures, which is again we're going to talk about in our next demo, because we're going to talk about everything under configuration template. So it's about the profiles, alerts, and procedures. Okay, but for now, this button right here allows you to deploy your procedures. Okay. Next, we have the install or update packages. So you can click install additional Komodo packages if you want to deploy the Komodo client security, but you will not be able to do this if you don't have a premium license. Okay. You can also choose your reboot options and a reboot message if you will warn the user about a reboot. Then next to this feature, we have the custom MSI packages. So you can also deploy a third-party application for as long as that it is in MSI format and it is in an HTTPS website. All right. So normally, or actually, the easiest way to get your file uploaded to a secured website is by uploading it to a cloud storage. So like OneDrive, Dropbox, Google Drive. So you can just upload your MSI applications there, get the link, and then paste the link right here. So the agent will just download the application from this URL. Okay, and then you can also add command line options and of course the reboot options. Next we have the update for additional Komodo packages. So you can update the Komodo client communication. So if ever that your device shows in your device list, for example here, it shows me that this device is offline, while I know the device is really online, then I can check maybe the Komodo client communication, or also known as the ITSM agent, is maybe outdated. So if it's outdated, I can go here, click update additional Komodo packages, and check this one. But as you can see, I cannot check it because it is up to date at this point. Okay. Same for the Komodo client security. Right now we are in version 10.0 of Komodo client security. If we're going to have a new upgrade for Komodo client security, I'll just have to simply go here and click update. So it will be synchronized to the new version. And of course the reboot options. Okay. So next we have is the refresh device information. So it's just gathering information to the device, such as this device summary, OS summary, Komodo client security info, performance metrics, hardware, network information, and things like that. Okay, so if you want to make sure that everything you have in the device properties are updated, just click on that. Then of course the reboot. So we also have the reboot option right here to force a reboot or warn the user about the reboot. Okay. Export security configuration. So this one is helpful for offline devices. So if you're going to apply, specific security configuration coming from the profile that is associated with it, it will just give you the security configuration in a specific file format, and then you can just import that into your Komodo client security if you're going to install it offline. Okay, and you will be able to see the exported security configuration right here. Okay. Next, we have the delete device. So our delete device features not just by deleting it into the portal, but it also allows us to automatically uninstall the Komodo client security and Komodo client communication to the actual endpoint. Right, so it's going to be easier for you to remove every applications you've got in there by just clicking delete device here in the portal. Okay. Then we have the owner. So if ever that you enroll the device in a wrong company, or if you have enrolled it to a wrong email address, then you can go right here. Let me just go here first, just to show you where it is associated. So it is under my name and this company. Okay. What about if I want to move it to another user and a different company? Let's say I enrolled this device, but it is not supposed to be under the Z Corp company. It is supposed to be for company A, and I have a specific user for the company A. So I'll just have to click owner, change owner, search for the name, for example this one, and this for company A. So I'll just hit change, and then that's it. Okay, you don't have to uninstall and reinstall the agent just to change the owner and company association. Okay, let me just put it back to my name before we move on to the next one. Z Corp change. Okay, see, that's very easy. Next we have the change ownership type. So by default, every device that you enroll is going to have an unknown ownership type. So ownership type talks about the personal or corporate device. So if you want to classify your devices, if it's a personal or corporate device, this is just where you can do it. And we have a specific dashboard right here that shows you the personal and the corporate devices. So that's under the dashboard audit, and shows you how many corporate devices you have, how many personal and not specified. All right. So that's for the controls. All right. But this controls that I showed you right here under the demo PC is only for the Windows devices. So we also have a separate set of buttons here, or controls, per operating system. Okay. But I wouldn't be able to show you a set of controls for Mac OS, for iOS and Android, because I don't have anything enrolled in here right now. Okay, but that won't be a problem, because this buttons right here will tell you for which operating system it would work. So I haven't selected anything right now, so that's why they're all grayed out. Okay, but if I select a device, it will lit up all the buttons that is applicable for this operating system. Okay, so there are a few buttons here that is not applicable for Windows, like full wipe. And if I hover the mouse right there, you will see a tooltip that's going to show you in which operating system it would work. So in this case, the full wipe works for Android, iOS, and macOS device. It is the siren is also for Android. The passcodes for Android, iOS, and macOS, and the send message, which works for Android and iOS as well. So same goes for other buttons that that showed up here, like for the manage profile. You don't see anything, any description. This means that this is applicable for everyone, for every operating system version. Okay. Procedure, same thing. Um, the device, actually, yeah, almost everything right here is applicable for anyone. Oh, sorry. So there. So the installer update packages only works for Windows or Mac OS. The profiles for Windows, Mac OS, Android, iOS. Procedure is for Windows only. Remote control is for Windows or Mac OS. All right. So next we have the properties. Okay. So for the device name, this is not just showing you the name of the device. You can also assign a custom name here. But before you do that, you have to make sure that this is unchecked. Okay, because if you check this and you hit save, okay, and you refresh the information, in a few seconds, it will synchronize to its original name, which is null. Okay, right. So we'll try to communicate to the ITSM agent first, and in a few seconds, it will change its name to null. There you go. All right. So if we go back to device list, the name is now changed to null, which is the default or the local computer name. But we allow to customize the name of your devices. So if you are enrolling devices with weird naming convention, you can actually change it here in the ITSM portal. All right, because changing the name of the devices, of the actual devices within a network, might be very complicated because you cannot have the same name for the devices within the local network. Right, so you can just name the device right here in the portal, and you're not changing anything on their end. Okay, so let me just put it back to demo PC. I want it all caps, and I hit save. All right. Next, we have the summary hardware networks. You can actually change anything in here. This is just for viewing purposes. So it shows you information about the device, OS summary, performance metrics, security info, and then hardware information and networks. So that's just about it, giving you information about your device. Okay. Next, associated profiles. So associated profiles shows you the profile that is currently applied to this machine, and it can go different ways. This one right now is just applied by default, but then again, we have different ways of associating the profile to the device. We actually have 5 different ways of doing that, but we're going to have a much detailed conversation or discussion about the association of the profile in our next demo, because it might confuse you. Next, we have software inventory. So software inventory just shows you the list of the application or software installed to the actual endpoint. But that's just what we have right now for the software inventory. We're going to have more features for this in the future. But yeah, for now, it actually just lists down all the software application you have, the vendor, the version, and the installation date. Okay. Then next we have the file list. So the file list will not show up here, will not show up to your device. Please take note of this, because this is something that you don't have if you don't have the Komodo client security or the advanced endpoint protection installed. Okay, this file list just shows you the list of the unknown files detected to the endpoint and allows you to rate the file if you want to mark it as trusted, malicious, or still unknown. Okay, and we're going to have a much detailed discussion about this when we discuss the advanced endpoint protection. Exported configuration. So this is what I was talking about earlier. When you click on this, it will show you. It will give you the link where to download the file, so you can export it, or sorry, import it to your offline Komodo client security. Then we have the MSI Installation State. So this one shows you the status of the installation of any MSI installation that you have deployed from here. So if you install the custom or third-party application, you will see that list right here, or I mean the link here at the bottom, and the state if it's still in process, in queue, or if it's successful like this, or if it's failed, and it will give you an error message. Okay. Um, Next we have the patch management. So for the patch management, this is per device deployment. So I'm currently in the demo PC, so this means that I'm only looking at the list of the patches for this specific machine. Okay, and I can use this filter button right here to show me only the available patches. So I can just select them all and then click install patches. Okay, I can also choose the available patches with a critical severity level, and then I can even specify the name, KB, and the bulletin. Right, so like this one, these are the two critical updates that I have. I can just select them and then click install patches. Same technique in deploying third-party applications. I can just use, if I have too many on the list, I can just use the filter button. So I can just select all and then install patches. Okay, and you can also even select, for example, Notepad, or let's just use this one, 7-zip. So I can update it to a specific version or to the latest version. So for example, I want to go, our latest version, for example, for 7-zip is 19. And if I want to go to just update it to 18, I can just go to update specific version and type in the version here, or actually select the available version right here. Okay. And then we have the antivirus scan history. Same with the file list tab. This only shows if I have the Komodo client security installed. And this one just shows me the list of the malwares detected to the endpoint. When I say malware, these are the known bad files already. So antivirus scan history just shows you the list of the known bad. File list shows you the unknown files. Then we have the last two tabs here, the groups, which shows you the group where this device belongs. Right now it belongs to the default group Z Corp. And it is applied here because it is the default group. All right, I didn't apply to the default group by its, or I mean, as a custom group. Okay, but I can actually associate a custom group right here. I can assign it to laptop, and if I click add, it's going to take over the default group. Okay, but if I remove this group right here, it will bring back the default, because a device that you enroll in ITSM cannot live without the owner, the company, the group, and the profile. Those four elements are very important for the device. All right. Okay, next we have the logs. So this log shows you the logs for the alerts, the monitoring, the script, and the patch. So all of this actually is under the configuration template. So the alert log, so if something has been triggered, it will show you uh, where it happened. So like this one, change log level for RMM agent service. So if I click on this, it will show me where it actually happened. So it happened in this procedure. That when I actually executed this to one of the endpoint, it gave me an alert. Okay, so I can now just go here, um, go to the execution log and see what happened. So this is what happened. I can go to details, and this is the error that I got. Okay, so for the monitoring logs, I can just go straight to the details. So it happened, or I mean, a recommended performance monitoring has been triggered to this device. I can just click details and will show me what happened. So RAM monitor threshold is greater than 75%. So that's why it gave me an alert. Okay, so again, we're going to have a separate discussion about profiles, which also includes the monitoring. And yeah, for now, I'm just going to show you the logs. And there's a tickets tab right here. So for our alerts, there is an option for you to automatically create a ticket if an alert or a monitoring has been triggered. So this is the link to the tickets. It is going straight to my service desk portal and will show me the ticket that has been created. There you go. Okay. Then we also have the script logs, so I can deploy the script or Python script procedure that I can actually create from here. So like this one, this is a system cleanup. I can just click on the details to show me what happened when I actually ran the system cleanup. So it gave me an error. And then also the tickets that is being created for this. Okay. We also have the patch log, same thing. You just have to click on the details to show you what happened. So this one was successful, or it failed, and then actually it starts at the bottom. So it started at 4:59:06, and at 4:59:36 it failed. Okay, so it actually didn't create a ticket because probably I don't have an alert for this one. So it depends on the alerts that you apply to the procedures or to the monitoring. Okay, it will make more sense when we actually discuss more about the profiles. But for now, this is just basically where you can monitor what happened to the alert, to the monitoring, to the script procedure, and to the patch procedure. Okay. So yeah, that is actually all about the Komodo, or I mean the introduction to ITSM for now. And we're going to have another demo, which is more about the profile configuration, the patch management, the alerts, and the procedures. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for attending the demo, and I hope to talk to you again in the future.